lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get
He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world for reasons as varied as their locales. Whether it's a defending champion looking to retain his title, a new and eager hopeful striving for recognition, or a legend prepared to recapture past glory, in the end, the one goal they all share is to win. But when naming a victor, only one driver's name can be etched into the record books. You're watching the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour.
High in an Ohio sky, we look down from the womb-like security of the blimp gondola at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, which this afternoon plays host to round 7 of 10 on the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour Season 12 schedule. This quarter-hour streaming award-worthy pre-race show will count us down to when the lights go off and the field of little MX-5 smoke away from the starting grid towards the first corner on the first lap of this 28-lap contest. So bring cyberspace into your place, dish up a few spicy Bahama Mama sausages, pour a cold glass of Cherokee Red, plop yourself down on the couch, and you'll be all set to enjoy the simulated sports car excitement that will be streaming your way. Hello from the Buckeye State, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. I'm your host, Bill Soupson. Helping me call the action is Richard Losmer. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Joe Peak, and the Dougie Beard is our camera artist. Well, the old girl that is the MX-5 World Tour has the spring back interstep thanks in part to the track selections for this Season 12 schedule. The familiar stops that have comprised the tour for so many seasons have given way to many first-time visits. Earlier this season, Monza, Imola, Donington all made their debut, and that trend continues today as another track makes its virgin appearance on the tour. Richard, tell us about Mid-Ohio.
And a very good evening, good morning, wherever you may be in the world, to all our viewers. If this is the first time you're watching the broadcast, do not take your eyes off the screen. This is going to be a cracker of a race. Talking about this track, Bill, it's a 2.25 mile track, 3.62 kilometers. There are 13 turns, but what a track. From the very first corner, turn number 1, which is a fast left-hander, down to a 180-degree hairpin called the keyhole, and then down a long curved straightaway to a section of the track called Madness. The elevation changes that you need to go through there. You go through the S's, then you take a right turn, a left turn, a right turn over a thing called the Jump, and then you go down into Thunder Valley. Some really good names there, and you finish off with a section of the track called the Carousel to start a new lap. Fantastic track, very difficult. Let's have a look at the lap guide and you'll see what I mean.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Mid-Ohio. Coming down to turn 1, it's going to be a fairly fast left-hander. The car should be able to handle that inside curb pretty well. Just make sure not to cut too far over it and get a slowdown penalty. The main thing is to get yourself a good run off the corner, because as we climb up the hill, you're heading towards the keyhole, which is a popular place to pass. From above, this looks like a simple 180-degree corner, but from inside the car, you can see it's got a tricky crest in the middle of it. Squaring off your exit will be the order of the day, not just because of the elevation change, but also because it leads onto the backstretch, where top end will be critical. It's not totally straight here, so you'll glide it through the kink and then bring the car off to the left to set up for China Beach. This is the place where you'll probably see the most passes made, but also the most cars off into the kitty litter with the way the track dips in the braking zone. However, it can be possible to defend from the outside. The track switches back as we head into Madness, so holding your own can allow you to fight back over this very blind left-hander. But we're not done yet, and the circuit switches into yet another another right-hander before climbing into the S's. You won't see a lot of passes through here, but that doesn't mean some side-by-side action won't occur at some point. The real difficulty comes in the braking for the entry to Thunder Valley. It's curved with not a lot of runoff. Then this huge rise will make the car light right when you want to put the power down. It's not uncommon to see drivers go wide into the grass coming out of there. Now it's back uphill and you want to hold as tight as you can to the armco to the right. This gives you the widest arc you can get through 11 where the car will really want to plow off into the weeds. Before you know it, you've got to brake for the carousel. There's a bunch of different lines you can take through here, but my preference is like Amjad does. Shallow entry, drift wide, then cut back for a good exit. From there, keep your foot down around the final left-hander and come across the line to finish your lap around Mid-Ohio.
So, Joe Peak talks us around a recorded lap here at Mid-Ohio. Let's go ahead now and talk about the point standings. Now, despite 5th place finish at Sebring, Sonny Ketchen still maintains a comfortable lead over Patrick Fliss. But the Slovene machine is not nearly as comfortable as the Aussie leader is, because on the heels of a win in Florida, Sergio Mora moves up 2 positions and now sits only 7 markers out of second. Also moving up is last season's top rookie, Robert Hartley, who sits in 4th. Scheduled today for a 6-hour stint, not behind the wheel, but in the GSRC production truck directing the DGFX WeatherTech Sports Car Series is Amjad Yaman. So because of those GSRC commitments, expect Travis Schwenke to pull away from the 5th place tie he is currently in with Dr. Ramjet. The California kid, Eric Garcia, holds station in 7th, but closing fast is the Buckeye Bullet, Deuce Allen, in 8th. And ready to nail Allen is the Bay State Hammer, Tom Rathie, just a single point out of 8th position, sitting there in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is the Colombian Carlos Torres. Only 9 points separate 7 from 10. So, Richard, we just talked about the points and we talked about the track. Why don't we go over some of the race details that we have for today?
Certainly. Let's do that indeed. By the way, I spoke to Tom Rache and asked him why is he called the Bay State Hammer, and he said he hasn't got a clue. That's a Bill thing. But anyway,
but since we're on the topic, he was part of the IRT here for a long time in the QRS, and he would drop the hammer on some of these guys. That's how he picked up that.
Okay, right. I'll
There you
explain
go.
that to him. Now, Bill, this is, as you said, the schedule round number 7 out of 10 races. So we're getting towards the back end of the series now. We'll talk about no-show compensations in a minute, but let's just go through the details here. So we're racing the global MX-5, the 2016 version, also known as the ND version. The drivers have open setups. They have a 30% fuel limit, which means they must make at least one stop somewhere in the middle of the race. They are in fact, they've started doing their qualifying right now, and we should mention that the format is slightly different today. There is no quick 6 gimmick, so rest in peace, quick 6. No excuses for anybody. So that means we've got only one session, and they're doing their qualifying as we speak. All races are at predetermined distance, and today it's 28 laps, so quite a long race. No fast repairs, no incident cap. However, if they do abuse the track limits, they might get a word from the IRT on that. There are bonus points available for qualifying and miles per incident and several other things as well. The weather, as usual, is dynamic, and today it is warmish, a little bit on the warm side. Back to you, Bill.
Okay, and now for something a little special here. With so much talk about Sonny Ketchen's current success, GSRC thought it might be fun to take a look at how Ketchen compares to some of the greatest MWT winners of all time. Now, on top sits, of course, the great Jan Koemans. Notice below his name that the Speedmaster's longevity there. He's racing in every season so far except this one. Now, his 41 wins is a mark that will last for quite a while. The 3-time champ's 46% winning percentage is second only to season 8 champ Evan Maillard, who has grabbed the checkered flag 12 out of 23 starts for an amazing 51% clip. Next, we go to the reigning champ Kanchen. Now, Kanchan wins better than 1 out of every 3 races that he enters, but since the move to the 2016 car, the Aussie is winning at a jaw-dropping, get this, 82% of the time, 9 out of 11 races in the new machine. The only other Wall of Famer on the list with Koumans is 2-time champ Richard Ecklund with 11 wins in 62 tries and 18% pace. Finally, there is the only driver without a crown, Sergio Mora. Now, the Portuguese ranks 5th all-time on the career wins list. Now, one final note for Koumans. Get this, 27 of his 41 wins, right, most of them came in seasons 1 through 5 before drivers like Millard, Kanchan, Ecklund, and Mora came on the scene, which makes Millard's 51% success rate even more impressive because the Frenchman did that with all the other top drivers on the track with him. So one of the things here about the MX-5 World Tour is the history that's going on is we're working season 12, and I'm happy to announce that the dotted line has been signed, and it looks like the sponsorship is on board, and we're going to have a season 13, so that's great news. We're looking right now at a driver on the screen right now. That is the number 013 machine. And that is, who are we looking at there? Mark King, and he's going to be our pre-race interview here. We're going to wait for him to get qualifying done. We don't want to come to him during qualifying, but we're going to bring him in a little bit and get an idea.
We can bring him in now. He's just stopped. Bill is just stopped. He's completed his qualifying. Let's go to him right now.
So maybe somebody can bring him in while I set this up. And this is a chance for us to talk to some of the drivers. And this is the spot we like to call Behind the Wheel, brought to you by the guys at Six Sideways, a full-service motorsports company based in Sebring, Florida. Hey, Mark.
That's me.
Hey, we waited till you get done there with qualifying. How did the qualifying go?
I'm happy with it. I did one of my good average laps. Just tried to take it easy, not screw it up, and so with as hot and slick as it is out there, that was really good for me.
Richard?
Yes, sir. So, Mark, do you think your 350 laps or whatever it was that you did in practice will pay off for you?
God, I really hope so.
And the weather's a little bit cooler than it was during that very long practice session we've had all weekend. So you should be happy with where you are at the moment.
I'm probably the only one on the track who's actually kind of content with the weather because of as many hot laps I put in.
Okay. All right. We've got other bills to pay. So we wish you a very, very happy time on the track there and good luck. And back to you, Bill.
Appreciate it.
There you go. Starting Mr. King, let's see, where is he currently sitting in the qualifying? If I
20th.
can find him, the 20th in there. A little slower than he was in practice. Now, Behind the Wheel was brought to you by Six Sideways. They're a full-service motorsports company based in Sebring, Florida, which currently competes in, take a breath, the SCCA Pro Racing Battery Tender Mazda MX-5 Cup Championship. Contact them with your motorsports needs at Six Sideways. Six Sideways, measure your life in milliseconds. Okay, well, Richard, we got through all of that. Now we get to have a little bit of fill time here going on. I don't know if I've been more excited before a race than this one. The names, the whole new dropping the quick six feature. We don't know what's going on. This is wide open.
Yes, Bill. And, we're talking about it when we were off air. 12 seasons. That's at least 6 years because you have about 2 seasons a year. Maybe in the early days you had 3 seasons. I don't know. But
sometimes
certainly the C has been going more than 5 years. What a history. We just looked on screen there. Jan Koumans, what a driver he was. We tend to forget that, he set records that people can only dream about. So, yeah, I'm just as excited as you are, Bill. This is going to be one fantastic race. John Deuce Allen looks as if he's topped the qualifying. Marlo Larson's out here. Sergio Mora, our champion, Sonny Kanchan. I can't wait.
We're looking there at the Mama Jean car. That's Tuan Tran. He of course, competes in the Absolute Beginner Series. Now, that's this is a good time of the weekend for you. Alternating Sundays is the Absolute Beginning Series. There is Skippy Series from that runs on a lot of the same tracks that this MX-5s are running on, and you'll see a lot of the drivers, what I like to call cross-pollination, coming over running in both series. In fact, my own partner here, Richard Losfer, has spent a few times in that open wheeler in the Absolute Beginner, haven't you?
Yeah, just did one race this season because Road America, I couldn't resist. I like Road America. I've done a few races in their sister series as well in the MX-5. So really good. But I'm just fascinated by what's happening here today. So we need to get to the... Yeah, go ahead. I know what you're going to say.
Let's go ahead and we'll run down the grid right now. Now, look on top. We call him the Buckeye Bullet. He's from Ohio. That's Deuce Allen. On the pole, outside of him is a hot shoe, Marlo Lawson. Sergio Mora with the win last week in third. Errol Num, he is the champion from that Absolute Beginner League. Let's see how he does in the Fender card. Patrick Fliss and Sonny Ketchen. Now, there's your champion, your reigning champion.
Sixth place.
Christopher Henn, Robert Hartley, last season's Rookie of the Year in 8th. Carlos Torres and Eric Garcia. Look at the names of the top 10, Rich. Go ahead.
Yep, in 11th place, Tuan Tran. Tom Raja in 12th. Travis Schwenke, one of our top runners, in 13th place here, Bill. Billy Bob Wright in 14th. Brian Holmes in 15th place. Joseph Aero 16th. Jeroen Jonkers 17. 18 is Kieran Mann. 19 Ashley Beard. And 20th place, newcomer Riley Rote.
We'll hustle through this as we go to row 11. This is made up by our pre-race interview, Mark King and Eric Coleman. Row 12 is Jeroen Ursum and Eric Nanning. The next row is Derek Holland and Joe McDonald. Spots 27 and 28 go to David Olson and Al Heat and Bake Heaton. And then finally, it's happy birthday to Wilfred Raffenbrink back there sitting in the 20. Let's try that again. Rensenbrink sitting in the 29th position. For your birthday present, I'm going to learn to pronounce your name before the race is over, Wilfred. Okay.
And Bill, they're getting ready, but before we go, just look where the last car is. He's completely round the bend, and I don't mean he's crazy.
Around the bend. All right, keep an eye on all the cars up front. They start to grid. Larson has the grid. We're still waiting for our pole sitter to get out there. Waiting for Deuce Allen to go ahead and take the spot.
Yeah, that's keeping them waiting. It's like a bride.
It's like a bride. Deuce, of course, sitting out there. 29 cars. They're all out there now, so now we'll wait for the lights to go off. This should be a humdinger. Don't go away. I hope you got everything set to watch this thing. You got your snack. You got your food. The engine's beginning to harmonize now. Deuce Allen going to lead them off. The lights are up. The lights are off. Gather up the chickens. Take cover behind the cows. The horses are out of the barn. And the Buckeye Bullet, Deuce Allen, leads them down into the first corner. Keep an eye on second place. Dive into the inside. That's the man from Portugal. Boy, he really takes an inside line. That's Sergio Mora side by side with Marla Lawson. Back in fourth and fifth. It's Fliss and Gnome side by side. Watching the whole thing is our point leader, Sonny Ketchen.
And Eric Garcia got a really slow start and has been battling, has been overtaken, I should say, by Swenke and Rache and a few others. So we're going way back to 13th place now to see that as we see them go down towards China Beach for the very first time.
Pass for second now as Mora gets a great run on Larson. Mora's going to take over second as they work through China Beach. Running away out front. He was fastest in practice. He was fastest in qualifying, and he is fastest right now on the track. That is John Deuce Allen.
And Sonny Ketchen, we get drive with Sonny Ketchen, who ironically started in 6th position, where he's been starting in every single race to date. He is still in 6th position as they go now through the Madness section. They've done that. They go into Thunder Valley and they're getting ready to complete their very first lap on this track. And we see them all there. John Deuce Allen looks like he's leading them at the moment with Sergio Mura behind him. They go through the carousel right now to complete their first lap.
It looks like our only fatality here was Eric Coleman. And it's not really a fatality. He got turned around in quarter one. He's currently running in 28th position, but still on the track.
Yes, indeed. Let's call it. John Allen in first place. Sergio Mura in second place. He is followed by Marlo Larson, who makes a move on Sergio Mura. Sergio Mura defends on the inside there. Marlo Larson draws up alongside and goes away a little bit as they go through the keyhole. But Sergio Mura manages to hang on to second place. And as they come out of the keyhole, the 180-degree hairpin turn, he is still in second place, followed by Marlo Larson.
Larson was fortunate to hang on to third place because Noam back there behind him was saying, all right, if you're going to try to do it on the outside there through the keyhole, I'm going to see if I can sneak in behind Mura and get that spot. Allen out in front with about a 7/10 of a second lead, comfortably running out there. We've seen him run out in front before. When he first started this series, they used to call it deucing. A driver, if he deuced it, it would be he had a problem on the early laps. It looks like Deuce has put his gremlins way behind him now in the past. I even hesitate to bring it up. Right out there, running in front, having a great run right now. Let's drop back. We talked about the top 5. Let's drop back to 7th position. Let's look at Christopher Hand running in 7th. He's being challenged by Robert Hartley and Carlos Torres in a nice 3-car battle. Then a little bit back, Tuan Tran, the last car on the top 10 in that purple and black machine.
And just behind Tuan Tran at the moment is the Bay State Hammer. That is Tom Rache, and he's followed by Travis Schwenke, who can also claim to call this track home. But out in front, it is none other than John Deuce Allen. Yes, I think he's shaken that hoodoo that he had in the early seasons of his participation, Bill. We won't even mention that at the moment. This is his home track, and he is leading and leading well.
Here comes the battle for second now. This time, it's Num, and he's on the outside. He's going to give the preferred position, and this time he gets it done. Larson gets it done.
Yep, Larson got through once again on the entry to the keyhole, but this time Larson had the inside line. He's got past Sergio Mura. John Allen would be loving the battling going on behind him. It's given him an opportunity to have a little break. Sergio Mura not giving up. Marlo having to go defensive. Aeronom having a look at all of these things in front of him going on there. Sergio Mura trying on the inside, going into China Beach. Can't get it done there as they go into the madness section now. Aeronom having a look from behind these two, so it is very close for second place. They are all battling at the moment, and still it's John Deuce Allen out front.
Yeah, let me correct myself. I identified that as Num. It was Mora who gave the inside position there to Larson. Richard corrected me on that one. Meanwhile, the guy who's happy with all of this is Deuce Allen, saying, keep fighting it out, boys, because the more that Larson and Mora battle, the more the Num watches on, the farther Allen can pull away. Let's look at Patrick Fliss. We haven't talked much about him right now, running in 5th place behind the Roland Estonian, Errol Num. We'll see what Fliss can do, the Slovene machine. The only driver to ever put in a perfect season, completing every lap, every mile, every corner of a season here. That was last, I think, 2 seasons ago, running in 5th position right now.
And we're getting some really great pictures from Dougie Beard, our camera divisor, our camera shot divisor, shall we call him, Patrick Fliss. Really up there, as well as Aeronom has a bit of a look there. And behind Patrick Fliss, of course, we have 2 other fast guys. There's our champion, Sonny Kanchan, heading through the keyhole at the moment. He's being followed by Christopher Hen, who was fast here in practice. Then it's Robert Hartley and Carlos Torres behind them. Tom Rache, who's got a little bit of damage on the rear. Could he have had a little bit of a love tap from Travis Schwenke? Looks likely.
That's exactly what happened. Rathi and Swenke have been really going at it for 10th position. And what that's caused them to do is lose touch with Torres. It's a 9-car train out in front. Then there's about 1.5 seconds back to this battle going on. Maybe we can look at it right now. You see it on the screen. Rachi and Swenke really going at it. Rachi ahead in that kind of maize-colored car. Swenke in the blue car behind him. Tran looking on. Garcia looking on also.
Yes, and Tom Rache in the Kronenbacher car, the maize-colored car, as you said, sort of a yellowish, ochreish color. I don't know exactly what you would call it. He's holding Travis Schwenke at bay, who's a little impatient. Travis wants to get up there and try to get into the top 10 at the moment. Tom Rache just holding him back, and these are guys that can claim to call this track home. So it's a real battle here for that position, which incidentally is the 10th position that they're battling for. But up ahead, it's still John Deuce Allen. Let's go and have a look at Marlo Larson, Sergio Mura. Marlo now looking like he's caught up with John Deuce Allen. Bill, this is getting real interesting.
Well, as we talked about, Larson and Morris stopped hassling each other, and that allowed Larson actually to run back up on Allen. You know, we talked about Allen being happy. Well, now Larson is there. Mora has to hope that he can stay with these guys. We'll see what happens now, Rich. I wonder if Larson is going to push the issue and try to get the lead, or maybe he has hopes that let's run together, Deuce, and see if we can leave the rest of these guys behind. Mora doing his best to hang on, about a half second back from Larson.
Yeah,
and as I say
I
that,
would
here
say-
comes Larson looking on the inside.
That's what I was going to say. He's not going to hang around. He was fastest in the long practice that Trip Smith put on. He was fastest in the early practice here. He was fastest in qualifying for a while, so he's not going to hang around. Now they go through the S's there. They go up and over the hill, down into the Madness area through the S's, and now across the jump, down into Thunder Valley, still being led there by John Deuce Allen. Fantastic pictures, just having a look down there. Patrick Fliss out there in 5th place behind Aero Num, who's behind Sergio Mura, trying to keep with Marlo Larson, and still now there's a kind of a challenge, a bit of a look there from Marlo Larson on John Deuce Allen. Bear in mind his favorite overtaking maneuver is into the keyhole. So Bill, let's have a look and see what they do as they go through turn 1 now on lap number 6.
I'd like to go back and cover some of the cars a bit farther back, but we just can't do it right now because the action up front is so good. Look at Allen as he takes that defensive line down in there. He's going to make Larson go on the high side. They scrape paint a little bit, and again, Larson goes wide. Mora trying to see if he can get up in there, and let me correct myself. Yeah, that's Mora still running, and let me get this right. Mora still running at 3rd. Noam still watching from 4th position. Allen doing a great job. Larson, like Richard said, he is not waiting. He's trying to find his way around, and now he's going to try it on to the left. Again, on the outside, though, Rich, I don't know if this is going to work as they go into China Beach. Careful of the sand, Larson.
Yeah, they've got to be real careful. Just further back a little bit. The battle between Rajay and Travis Schwenke is still on, but Travis has now managed to pass Tom Rajay as they go through their Tuan Tran just behind Tom. So Tuan Tran now threatening Tom, and Tom will want to try and hang on to Travis Schwenke. But going back to the front there, let's go with Patrick Fliss in 5th position. That train, Bill, has stayed steady for
9 cars
all this time. Yep,
9 cars. Your engine is Allen. The caboose is the Colombian driver Carlos Torres. But what is going on? And we will get back to the mid-pack here soon. But right now, we just can't get away from this battle because Larson is doing everything he can to get around the Buckeye Bullet. That's John Deuce Allen, the Ohio native. This is his home course, and it sure does feel like it right now. Now let's go ahead as they're going to work their way down into the keyhole one more time. We'll see what line that Allen takes, and if Larson tries it one more time to go around the outside. Looks like Allen feels a little more comfortable this time. Pulling to the outside. He's going to give the inside to the English driver. Larson says, all right, if you're going to leave it, I'm going to take it. They go side by side. Cialis Backtrap's coming out of the keyhole. Who's going to have the momentum? Maybe Allen on the outside had a better drive.
Allen has not given up. He's on the outside. It's not the preferred line as they head down through the speed trap, heading down towards China Beach. Slightly more speed there from John, but Marlo's got the preferred line into the corner. They go in side by side into China Beach, and now John Allen has got the preferred line as they go through the S's. Now they're approaching the S's. They'll go through, and Marlo has to give it up and fall in behind John Allen. Well done, John.
Salivating back in 3rd with Sergio Mora, just licking his chops, waiting for somewhere to get around both those drivers that they fight. This fight continues. There is no change. Deuce Allen learning what he can and cannot do as he holds the lead, but they are nose to tail all the way back to 9th position.
And let's go a little further back now. We'll start off here with Travis Schwenke in 10th place. Behind him in 11th place, we've got Tom Rajay. Looking up at Tom is Tuan Tran doing a great job there. Then it's Eric Garcia. So a little bit of a train here. Brian Holmes also at the back of this train, and Eric, we mentioned Eric Garcia. And then in 15th place, going further back, it is Billy Bob Wright, but there's a gap. So here's your second group, Bill, if you like.
Thanks, Richard, for doing that. There is no change up in front right now, but we better go to the front because here's Larson again. looking on the inside. What I think Deuce Allen has learned is if I give you the inside, I can have the better run coming out of the keyhole. Unfortunately, this time Larson was able to close the door, and we have a new leader. He hails from England. It is Marlowe Lawson.
Marlowe Larson leading them down through the speed trap, heading for China Beach. One more. We remind the viewers, of course, that...
Allen not giving up the ghost as he goes. Sorry, Richard, to interrupt, but Allen now making a run. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, no, they go in side by side through China Beach. John Allen doing what he did the previous lap, gets the run again, takes the position back. Fantastic driving. Marlowe Larson not giving up. They go side by side through the SS section now. John Allen still not giving up. John is determined. Behind them, Patrick Fliss challenging Aeronom as well. And now they go across the jump. They'll go down into Thunder Valley, and still it is John Allen managing to hang on to first position.
28 laps on the docket, 21 remaining. There is a pit stop. It'll be about the middle of the middle third of the race. If you break it up into threes, think of the middle part as the pit window. My goodness, that battle up front is still nose to tail, 9 drivers. And Richard, not only is there, it's hard to pass up front, but there is no passing going on in the rest of the train. All the freight cars staying right on the tracks all the way back to the caboose.
Well, they are looking at the battle between Larson and John Allen. It is a big battle, and it's not leaving much room for anyone else to try and make, as we see Larson once again going to the inside through the keyhole. John Allen keeping him side by side. John Allen defending from the outside, now goes to the inside. Now he's behind Marlowe Larson, who takes the lead now for the second or third time in the race. And what can John Allen do? John Allen now hangs on behind Marlowe Larson. This might well be the very first time that Marlowe Larson has a clean lead in the race, Bill.
Yeah, it didn't quite work the same way through the keyhole that time for Allen. I think he was actually thinking about doing the over-under, and it didn't work, so he didn't have the run into China Beach that he had before. So except for the 2 cars up in front, everybody holds station all the way back to 9th place as that train continues.
Yes, and if this carries on, I tell you, they're going to have to think about their pit stop strategy, because that could make the very big difference. And we've seen that master of pit topology taking the place of Dr. Ramjet has indeed been Sonny Kenton in the past races, Bill.
Oh, yeah. Sonny knows exactly what to do. I wouldn't mind being right behind Sonny right now, and I would just follow him into the pits. I would stay there until he started to leave, then I would
There we have the first breakaway, Bill. It's Sergio Mura doing the early peel, and now Aeronum will get into third place. Patrick Fliss a little bit anxious now to get past Aeronum as they go into turn number 1 on lap number 10. Behind them, Sonny Canton in 5th place now. So the benchmark for this race is indeed Sergio Mura falls back to around 15th, 16th place at the moment, and he's still in the pit, so we'll keep an eye on him.
Interesting fact, when Marlowe crossed the finish line there that time, that's the first lap he actually led, even though he had been in front several corners. Deuce was always able to be the leader when they crossed the start-finish line. So right now, Larson and Allen, as Allen
challenge, Bill, challenge for third place here. Patrick Fliss, Aeronum went very defensive going down into China Beach. Patrick Fliss now looking like he's very anxious to pass Aeronum, and just behind them, Sonny Canton just watching the action as we've seen him do in so many of the races to date. But at the moment, out front, Marlowe Larson, and it looks as if John Allen is now content to just follow Marlowe for a lap or two just to see what he's about. But I think Patrick Fliss is the one who wants to make moves now. Bill?
So let me get you inside the helmet of Sergio Mora, who took that pit stop. I guess he was figuring there's no way for me to get around. I'm being held up. If these guys are going to battle, their lap times are going to be slower. I'm going to be able to run faster laps, even though I might have traffic to get around, if I just get away and start running some hot laps. So let's keep an eye on Mora. My dad used to call it, Richard started it, the early peel, late reveal. You peel off early and people forget about you. Mora currently running way back there in 19th position right now, and then all of a sudden when the pit window is done, Mora's out there running some hot lap times and he ends up in front. Unfortunately,
could backfire, Bill. Could backfire. Let me just quickly say it could backfire because there's slow cars in front of him now. they could hold him up, as indeed we see Derek Holland there. He's being held up at the moment by these guys, so it could backfire on him, but let's hope that these guys will get out of the way. Of course, they're fighting for position, so they're not going to give up their positions, but at the same time now, Sergio Mura right on the heels there of number 30 and number 80 car of Derek Holland, and trying to make the pass, and he's being challenged from behind. This could get ugly if these guys hold him up, but he manages to pass there. This is Sergio Mura managing to pass Derek Holland. Now he's got in front of him the car of Ashley Beard, who is not a slow driver, so he has his challenges back here, Bill.
Once he gets around Beard, then he's got a big open track for him until he gets to Jeroen Jonkers in 16th position. Why don't we look at 15th real quick? A little battle going on. Kieran Mont in a battle with Jeroen Jonkers. Now, these guys are the two guys that are going to be run up once Mora gets around the car of, and in fact, he does it right now. Mora gets around Beard, so he's got quite a while until he gets to these guys. So now he can do some hot laps.
Yes, indeed. And out in front of him now, we've got Kieran Man. Now, Kieran, I believe, is a returning driver, did some races in the early series. He's fast, but he's back in 15th place at the moment. He's chasing Billy Bob right in 14th place. And then Eric Garcia not doing so well at the moment in this particular race at this track here on lap number 11. This is 11 out of 28, so the first third of the race is already done. So guys will be starting to think about their pit strategy, Bill.
And now we have Ashley Beard has come in once more, got around him, so Beard comes in. That's the second car. Really not a contender right now, as the guys are working on what we said, 17 remaining, working lap number 12 right now. I'm looking to see about a lap time here, if I can find a lap time for Mora. He ran a 1:38.9 in traffic. The leaders ran a 1:38.4, so he lost about half a second. We'll see how that compares now with some clean track in front of him. Got to keep an eye on Mora.
Yes, we will be doing that. And it looks as if at front here, the top four cars, which is Marlo Larson, then he's being followed here by John Juice Allen. John appears to have just settled in behind Marlo and thinking, okay, I'll follow you around. Then Aaron Num is in third place. Patrick Fliss is in fourth place. But they are slowly but surely, 10th by 10th, dropping Sonny Kanchan off. Now, Sonny admittedly is not happy with his performance at this track. He feels that he is too slow. You can never ever discount a great champion like Sonny, but at the moment, it just looks, he's not struggling, but he's not challenging and dominating as we've seen him do previously.
Don't be surprised if you see him pick up a few spots, though, after the pits are done. He's very good at doing that. Sometimes he cuts a little short. He may have to nurse it at the very end. So this 8-car train holding station. Let's go ahead and look at 9th position. We saw that Rathy was in that battle with Swensky. Well, Rathy has been able to pull away and is now comfortably running by himself in 9th. Let's drop back and we can look at Swanky there. Swanky being challenged by Tuan Tran. And then look at Brian Holmes. We haven't talked about him. Brian Holmes having a nice run in 12th.
Yes, we did just mention that he was the last car in a train there, because behind Brian, Eric Garcia, who's a little way back. But I am a little surprised at Travis Schwenke. Now, Travis's problem is that he has not had time to do a lot of practice at this track. And it looks as if certainly at the moment Tom Raj has got the better of him and pulling away, as you mentioned. But going now to 8th place, there's a battle developing right here between Robert Hartley and Carlos Torres. Now, this may well have been going on and we have not been noticing it due to looking at other battles, but this battle certainly is on.
Torres was the caboose, and I think what he had saw was Hartley was losing touch with Christopher Hand in 6th position. So Torres made the move, and he's got to try now. He's got his work cut out for him. See if he can get onto the back of Hand as this train begins to stretch out a little bit now. It used to be 9 cars, then Mora pulled off. Now it's more like 4. Kanchan trying to hang on to it, and the back parts of the train are stretched out quite a bit.
That's correct, and it's a long train. Let's go from Robert Hartley.
Let's go to Brian Holmes. Just had it off. Maybe we can catch this one. Looks like he's going to save it. I thought it was going to be worse than it was. He did a nice job. He went off into the alfalfa, brought it back. Everything okay.
Okay, so we go back to Robert Hartley.
We were going to watch the replay right here, Rich. Here it is.
Yeah,
see a nice job.
Let's see what happens to Brian Holmes. He's coming into beautiful picture on screen, but there's a battle going on here. Robert Hartley and Carlos Torres. Sorry, Bill, gotta go to this battle. They've just come out of the keyhole. They were side by side. They actually touched door handles there, and Carlos Torres still hanging on to the position. That is 7th and 8th place that they're battling here for the 7th place position. Now Robert Hartley breaks a little early, gives Torres the opportunity to get down into China Beach. He's not giving up though. I think this battle we need to we need to watch, because I'm pretty sure that Robert wants to get by Carlos Torres.
As we watch it, that battle has cost them being in touch with the leaders. Marlo Lawson ran a 1:38.2 last lap. Sergio Mora ran a 1:38.2. So Mora certainly has the pace to hang in there. How much time did he lose when he had to get around those other drivers? That's the difference. And of course, we've talked about Mora before. His Achilles heel is the pit stop and taking the right amount of fuel. Never seems to work out well for him right now.
Well, it worked out well last race. He won the race going away, I believe, last time. So let's hope that he has got his pit stop done. And really, when you do the early pit stop, as we see what's going on here in front of us. Oh, that's a slower car that they're passing at the moment. Joe McDonald. Challenge from Patrick Fliss, the Aero Num going defensive, Bill. We're seeing a lot of this here. The battle is still fierce up front, and Sonny Kenton loving this, because that just gives him an opportunity to catch up, because he's losing ground a little bit on these guys. Yeah,
Larson
it comes
and
Bill.
Allen. Yeah, here comes. Watch this now. Num hugging the right side of the track. He's gonna make Fliss take the wide side. Now this isn't so bad. If Fliss can hold his position, he would have the preferred line going into the left-hander, but he can't do it. What Aero has to be careful about is this battling with the Slovene machine. It's the Roland Estonian and the Slovene machine going at it. If those guys start mixing it up too much, they're going to lose touch with the leaders.
Yeah, and I think that Patrick Fliss thinks that he has what it takes to pass Aero. Aero defending, and it's always a sign that when a driver goes heavily defensive, that he's under threat and feels that the driver behind him is faster. So I would expect Patrick Fliss to make a challenge again as they go towards the keyhole. But meanwhile, we have our second place. Is that John Allen going into pits? Yes, it is.
That's John Deuce Allen. He's decided to come in, get some fuel, and maybe check a little bit of our other broadcast here on GSRC. Gonna go over and look at the DGFX race that's going to go on right now. Make sure you tune into that once this race is over. I think Deuce is coming in to see what's going on in that. He's going to get his fuel. Now, what we're going to do, we'll watch Allen. Let's go ahead and pick up Mora, because those were the guys who were close. Mora just working his way through the final part of the track. He is past pit entrance. He's coming onto the main straight. Is Allen rolling yet?
Allen's just got rolling now. I think he's going to get passed by Sergio Mora. Indeed, he is. Sergio just rattling off the laps. There's John Allen. Is that John Allen?
Very close.
Oh, yes. No, he has got enough momentum. Mora will pass him as they head towards the keyhole. So, good job, Sergio Mora.
So, he was behind Allen. Remember, Allen was running 1-2 up there with Larson, so it worked out for Mora. Now the question is with Larson.
John Allen challenging now. Bill is right behind, and in fact, he looks like he's a little bit faster as they go down towards the speed trap. Mora has got nothing for John. John will challenge and possibly overtake me into China Beach, but Mora hanging on at the moment. John Allen saying, I want that position back. Thank you very much. John Allen and Sergio Mora are the two benchmarks now, having done their pit stops already.
I don't know how. Oh, there's a car off right in front of him. That's Brian Holmes. Almost came off in front of the guys. Looks like Brian's going to stay out there. He's taking his time. Nice job from Brian. Did not bring it in front. Let's give him a tip of the hat as we ride on board with Holmes. It wasn't so much the spin, Richard. It scared the heck out of me. I thought he was going to pull back out in front of Allen. Let's see if he keeps it off the wall. I believe he does. Nope, he doesn't. He banks it in. And then, if we'll stay on this a little bit longer, look how he comes up here, and my gosh, he gets the car going towards the track, and no, don't bring it out, and he hits the brakes. Woo-hoo-hoo.
And Bill, up front, things have changed just a little bit. So Patrick Fliss was challenging strongly on Aeronom earlier. That has dissipated. Now we're actually seeing Aeronom catching up to Marlo Larsen and getting himself in a position to challenge for the first place at the moment. Bearing in mind, of course, these guys have not done their pit stops, but Aeronom really looking the goods at the moment.
I would also like to point out that Mora came in and made his pit stop. Allen made his pit stop, and we neglected to say that Robert Hartley, who was up front with those guys, also came in. So those are your top three of the guys who have pitted right now. If you can look at as we watch this battle on screen right now with Gnome and Fliss, they just have, these guys really need to behave. Right now, it's not about who's leading who. It's about putting in lap times.
Well, at the moment, Sergio Mora is first of the guys who have made their pit stops. By the way, it looks as if there's been a change there. Where's John Allen? John Allen's behind Sergio Mora again, so this battle is on. This will effectively be first, or might be first and second place
could be.
After the pit stops work through.
I don't know how you say drat in Portuguese, but I know that's what I heard Morris say as soon as he came out of the pits in front of Allen, and then he got passed by Allen. I heard him just, the exclamation came from him. I could feel it. But right now, 1, 2, 3, there is Mora, Allen, and Hartley. Meanwhile, we have
Larson
coming into the pits is our leader. So we'll watch Larson and see how he does. Again, I'm not so sure if Larson is a great pit stopper. We'll see how he works. He's in a stall right now. Where is Mora?
Well,
Larson
Mora is coming around. That was a very quick pit stop from Marlo Larson. He
Larson
comes out. Mora is past. Mora's into turn 1, but Larson is still ahead there.
Crushed him by half as well. Yeah, by quite a bit.
Oh,
now, the car
I'm
he's
worried
got
about
behind
this
him
one.
is Billy Bob Wright. I think Rich and I are on the same page. What are you worried about, Rich?
Fuel, mate. That just was a very, very fast pit stop.
I agree. Well, he's got about oh my goodness, about 4.2 seconds to play with.
Okay, now the interesting thing is, when will Nom, Fliss, and Kanchan and Hen indeed come in for their pit stops? And of course, Tom Rache still has to make his pit stop. Out of the top 10 there, Travis Schwenke did his pit stop. He's fallen back now into 13th place. A couple of other guys in between there, but Marlo Larsen 9.78 seconds for the pit stop.
Okay, the Roland Estonian has brought it in. Look, they're coming in one at a time. This is interesting. So once again, we'll watch.
Fliss in.
This Num is in. Is Fliss in? I don't believe Fliss came in.
No, my mistake. Sorry
about that. It was the
that.
Roland Estonian. So yeah, in is Aero Num. So now what we're going to do, watch one more time. I would think Larson is going to get him for sure. The question is if Num is going to be able to get out in front of Sergio Mora. But right now it's Deuce Allen back in front. So here comes Larson. Num is rolling. Larson just crosses the start-finish line. Oh, I think Num is going to get him as well. Num is coming out onto the track. Larson has the momentum, but Num is going to be out in front.
And Num took left side tires. He did 11.58 seconds, so slower than Marlo Larsen, but he comes out in front of Marlo. Now, Marlo did not take tires. That we know for sure. So, this is quite a battle. We know that it's warm out there, 41 degrees Celsius on the track. So, that is going to come into effect. And remember, we're on lap 19. It's 28 laps. So, there's only 9 laps to go in this race when they finish this current lap. Aero Num out there in front of Marlo Larsen, 5th and 6th place at the moment.
Let me set the stage for you right now. Let's go to our leader. It's Patrick Fliss, Sonny Ketchen, and Christopher Hen. Those guys have yet to pit. They are well ahead of anybody else of their other competition. Rathy hasn't come in yet, but he's really not in the same mix. Then you go back to Larson and Num. Now, Num is ahead of Larson by quite a bit. And then you go back to the 3 cars, Allen, Mora, and Hartley. Now Fliss and Kanchan have come in. Christopher Hen inherits the lead. There are no bonus points for laps led here, boys. All right,
and
so let's
Tom Rache also stays out. Sorry, Bill. So Fliss and Kanchan in. So now we got to look for Num. Where's Num?
He's just coming down. He's passing these guys right now. Now look at the battle out in front. It looks
They're
like,
rolling,
sure enough,
they're rolling.
Katchen gets ahead of Fliss. That's no surprise. Now let's see if they're going to be able to get out ahead. Here he comes. Here comes the Roland Estonian, and he is a Roland. And can he get by these guys? He's going to be able to get by Fliss. He has the momentum. I don't think he's going to get behind Sonny Katchen. And the Aussie has done it again. Will he close the door on Num? He does. He holds it. No, Num's going to take it. Num and Katchen fighting side by side. A champion in the Absolute Beginner League. A champion in the MX-5 World Tour. Going right at it.
Fliss,
and then
Fliss
it's Fliss in the mix. They make it 3 wide. Fliss trying to be the peanut butter in the sandwich. Will he squirt out between the bread? They touch a little bit with Num. What's going to happen? Katchen decides to back out of it. Fliss go ahead, has the position. Now it looks like Katchen is going to fight. What a great battle going up in front. A great run. We'll stay with this. Woo!
Katchen tried and had to back out there. We had Patrick Fliss hanging in there, really putting it to Aero Num. Aero Num's got some damage on the front of his car, on the left front of his car. He won't be happy about that, but I don't think it's done anything to impede his speed. And Patrick Fliss still having a look at him. Sonny Katchen backed out of it. So, Bill, let's go and have a look. Tom Rache now in the pits there. Christopher Hen in the pits. So, Aero Num will be our leader, I think, by the time we start this new lap. Don't know. We might have to get. We're getting information that someone might have a problem in the pits, but
it was Al Heaton, I think, but I think it's okay. Now, Hen is in the pits right now, and going by him are many of the cars. So Hen's going to fall about. Deuce Allen gets by him, Mora gets by him, Hartley gets by him. Taurus, Hen with a horrible stop is going to fall back to 9th.
Yeah, and Rache still sitting.
And then
in
we
the
look
pits
at that.
there.
Al Bake Heaton there got turned around. Tom Rache gave him a little bit of a shove. Rache had places to go. Let's go to the lead. Oh, my goodness. It was Num and Fliss. Fliss trying to work both sides of the track like a jaywalking mailman, trying to get around Num. He went left, he went right, and Num hugs the middle, making that car as wide as a Julia Roberts smile. Num in front, Fliss trying to find his way around Katchen. Off pace now, trying to hold on.
Actually, this is very, very... Look, Marlo Larsen out of the picture at the moment. Aero Num well in the picture, leading the race. Behind him, Patrick Fliss, who is like a flea on a dog. He's just annoying. And behind them, we've got Sonny Katchen in the 3rd place. He's in the popcorn position, so to speak, as we see the challenge.
Oh, they touch! They touch! And Num is going to have to save it. He's loose. They get it. We were on board with Fliss. What a save by Num. Oh, my goodness.
And Katchen gets past Patrick Fliss now. He goes into 2nd place. Patrick Fliss paying the price for not making a clean pass there. You can't blame him. He's fighting for that 1st position. No harm, no foul on Fliss. But the battle has given Sonny Katchen an opportunity to get into 2nd place. This is the end game of the race. 22 laps done. We've got 6 laps after this. And Sonny Katchen is the past and present master of finishing a race. So let us see what happens now. He's got very firmly in his sights. He's got a damaged car of Aero Num. What can he do? What can Patrick Fliss do? This is 1st, 2nd and 3rd place. Behind them, Marlo Larsen quite a ways back, Bill.
Looks like things are settling down up front a little bit. I'm not sure if Katchen is going to have much for Num. We have some bills to pay. Richard, you have to butt in here while we do our back marker review.
Absolutely,
if we see
will
a pass,
do.
Just
I'm
interrupt.
butting in already.
We're going to bring up our 67 back marker review, brought to you by Eagle Nest Cavern. Going to start with 20th position right now. Oh, we'll go to 26th position. That is Eric Nanning. Move up one. Nope. Let's go to the ones on the lead lap, Director. We'll start with Joe McDonald. We're not going to have time to get much of these done. Joe McDonald running last on the lead lap in 20th position. Just ahead of him, our pre-race interview, Mark King, running about 5 seconds ahead of him in 19th position. 18th position is the veteran from Italy, Sergio Aro, running there just ahead of him. You can see that it's Derek Holland running in 17th. Those guys having a nice quiet race. We saw a little of Brian Holmes earlier. He's fallen back to 16th spot. He's got about a 15-second lead on Holland. Now, about another 10 seconds up is the man from the Netherlands, Jeroen Jonkers, running in 15th. Just ahead of him, Billy Bob Wright, running in 14th position. Not far in front, well, about 10 seconds up then is Eric Garcia, the California kid, with 13th spot. Mama Jean Racing's Tron Tran in that purple and black machine in a battle again with Travis Swanky. That's been going on the whole race. We'll check back in with that later. And then finally, the last car on the top 10 is Tom Ratchey. Okay, that was a quick 60-second back marker salute. Go by Eagle Nest Cavern if you're ever in Green Valley Lake. Go ahead, Rich.
Aeronum coming out of the keel was on the grass there for a second. He managed to save it. That was very, very risky. Now Sonny Canton goes to the outside. Here comes Patrick Fliss as well. They've got momentum on Aeronum. This is Sonny Canton going for the lead. Aeronum hanging in there. Sonny has to go wide. Gives the position back up to Aero. And now they go into the madness section. Patrick Fliss trying to take advantage. They side by side as they go through the SS section here now. And Patrick Fliss and Sonny Canton going at it, giving Aeronum an opportunity to make a little tiny break on these two. This is the battle for first position. They go across the jump area down into Thunder Valley. Still it's Patrick Fliss. Still it is Sonny Canton. Sonny now got the inside line for that final turn. This will be turn number 12, and they're losing touch with Aeronum. This is battling is not doing them any good.
Fliss fighting back in. Canton actually closed the door. I don't think I've ever seen that. He actually closed the door on 3 wide. Fliss had a chance. He was thinking about being the peanut butter again. And Canton said, nope, we're going to squeeze this bread together, and made no room for Fliss to get in there. But what that ended up doing is having those guys battle the whole way, and they have lost a ton of time to the leader. And what it has allowed is...
Fliss wide. Sorry to cut in there. This Marlo Larson's back in it, Bill. Marlo Larson right on the tail now of Patrick Fliss. Marlo Larson looking good. Sonny Canton breaking away from Patrick Fliss. They had a horrible exit from turn number 1 there, and they have lost touch a little bit with Aeronum. Aeronum on lap number 24, leading well. Then Sonny Canton in second place. Patrick Fliss looking under threat now from Marlo Larson going down towards China Beach. Here comes Marlo. Marlo not looking at trying to overtake just yet, but he is threatening, and he's right behind them. Marlo could still come away with this. It's only 2 cars in front of him, and then he could be looking at Aeronum once again. This is going to go down to the wire, Bill.
And this whole race may hinge on this name, David Osselin. Let's see if I can get it right there. Currently running in 24th position, Osselin. They're going to be coming up on the back of him right now. He's in 24th. He's a back marker. Let's see what he can do. Remember, Larson was your second fastest qualifier. We know he has the pace. Does he have the fuel? Look what David does. No, he's going to take the apex. Looks like he's going to leave it open there. Now, Num is stuck behind him. Now, let's see. Lift for me, David. Dear. Just lift, baby. Lift and let them all by. You're not in a battle. Let them all get by before you get to this corner. No, he doesn't do it. He stays on pace. And what's that's going to do? It's going to slow down the guys behind. Canton, Fliss, and Larson all stuck behind. Now he gets out of the way. Didn't hurt him too much.
Well. It's worked out well, Bill. He did the best job that he could. He got the turn completed, went to the inside. Now, Marlo Larson, 4th position, looking at Patrick Fliss. Patrick Fliss, 3rd position, looking at Sonny Canton. Sonny Canton is caught up again to Aeronum. 4 cars. There's a blanket you could throw over these 4 cars at the moment, certainly on the top 3. Sonny Canton now defensive. Aeronum defensive. Patrick Fliss going to the outside trying to make his move. Lap number 25. There'll be 3 laps to go after this. And here comes Larson from 4th position looking at Fliss. So Fliss is like he's the peanut butter in the sandwich, excepting that he's being eaten from the front and from the back.
What's interesting is when Canton goes defensive, what that allows Fliss to do is go to the outside, and it all depends on what line the leader takes. When Canton goes defensive, he gets out of the draft, and Fliss can go to that unpreferred line, but he gets in the tow. Remember, these 4 cars that are up here all had the fastest pit stops of the rest of these guys. We're still not sure if they have enough fuel, although I have learned never to question Sonny Kenshin.
Okay, let's go back a little bit here quickly to Sergio Mura and John Allen. This is 5th and 6th position at the moment. They are side by side as well. They're a little way off the guys, and in this sort of company, they look like they're 2-3 seconds back. That's just not enough for them to catch up in the laps that are left here. Here we see Sergio Mura having a look here at John Allen. They go up towards the keyhole. John Allen going to the outside. He likes to defend from the outside in the keyhole, but here comes Sergio Mura, takes the inside. John Allen, of course, goes wide, but this time he overcooks it, and Sergio Mura will take that position, and go into 5th position. Back to you, Bill, back to the front.
And apologies to all the friends, families, and sponsors of the mid-pack racers, but honestly now, with 3 laps to go, GSRC's attention is going to be up on the front to see how this plays out. It is the Roland Estonian out in front. Sonny Kenshin, look at this battle for 3rd. It is Fliss on the inside now. Larson has the preferred position. Larson and Fliss side by side. They got to get this sorted out quick. Fliss really battling the car. They continue to race side by side. It's England against the Netherlands against Slovenia. And England. Larson gets it. This is the MX-5 World Tour, and you want world, you've got it. You got Estonia, Australia, England, and Slovenia. 4 different countries being accounted for here in the top. But that battle from 3rd, Richard, that kind of broke it up a bit.
And something's happened to Sergio Mura, because now looking back, we've got John Allen being followed by Robert Hartley. Sergio Mura, something happened to him. Yep. We may be able to get that on replay, but
he was right in behind Allen, and he got a little bit loose, put it out in the alfalfa, was able to bring it back, but he lost positions, as Richard said, to Hartley and Allen. No damage, just only thing damaged was his pride as he runs now in 7th.
And Bill, now we go back to the front here. Aeronum still leading the race. So Aeronum is being followed by Sonny Kenshin. Patrick Fliss and Marlo having a battle. So Marlo Larson is Marlo out in the alfalfa, as you love to say. He's going to lose the position. He's still out there.
He can't get it back.
He can't get it back. He's going to stop.
Something happened, and we've seen this happen to Larson before, where he just mysteriously gives up. He's parked it, and he's out of the picture.
Good grief, what happened there?
He has not exited out. Could it have been mechanical problems?
Must have been. He was on the grass there for a very long time, but he's out of the picture. Let's go now back to the race. So we start here with John Deuce Allen. No, we don't start with John Deuce Allen. We go one forward. Aeronum being still followed by Sonny Kenshin. I think Sonny might be happy with the 2nd place. He knows that Aeronum can't challenge him for the championship.
Let me correct you on that one. I don't think Sonny's going to be happy with 2nd. I know he doesn't feel good. Right now, he's got visions of winning this thing. Now, another driver that could play a big part was our pre-race interview, Mark King, in that beautiful blue and white Sharpie machine out in front. Let's see if he can let these guys around. Num coming in. This is not the white flag lap. It's going to be the white flag lap as they cross right now. So we're going to keep our attention on the leaders. We call this home from here. Num out in front, catch it behind him. They work through the first corner. That's the left-hander. Then they go into the keyhole. Will they get to Mark King before this race is over? I think so. Mark pulls off. Hey, give him a bear claw at the next Backmarkers United meeting. Nice shot from King. Num out in front. It is a 2-man battle. Now that Larson is out of the way, I don't know if Fliss has enough to get there.
Okay, I'm going to come to your next Backmarkers meeting. That was terrible driving from Mark King. He is also in the race. There's no reason for him to pull right off. He should have just lifted a little bit. You guys at Backmarkers United, you need to learn a few rules. Let's go back to the front here. I think Aeronum with defense could get away with this, but Sonny Kenshin, you're quite right. I was really just hoping that Sonny would be satisfied with 2nd position, because going for 1st positions against Aeronum could be risky, Bill. Here comes Patrick Fliss for the 3rd position as well. He's a little way behind. He's not going to have enough. Let's go to you now to call the final few corners of this race. Aeronum versus Sonny Kenshin.
Aeronum the reigning champions of the Absolute Beginner League with the Skippies. Sonny Ketchen, the reigning champion in the MX-5 World Tour, 2 champions battling it out. They work through the left-hander. They do not have far to go. Numb takes that defensive line. He gets a little bit loose. Is Ketchen going to have anything for him? They work through these final corners. They come onto the main straight. Round number 7 goes to a first-time winner. It is the Roland Estonian Aero Numb. Sonny Ketchen takes second. Patrick Fliss gets third. Fourth position goes to Deuce Allen. We'll see if we can pick up any battles farther back.
What a race. What a race. And I think that Sonny Ketchen could see the writing on the wall by the time they were coming through turns number 11 and 12. So he kind of gave it to Aero right there, because to try and win the race from that position would have meant contact and a possible exit from the race. Bill, I'm still mystified by what happened to Marlo Larsen. That has just got me going here. I just feel that is such a terrible ending to his race.
Everybody comes across. 18 cars on the lead lap there. We look at your winner, Errol Numb. Congratulations to him. We add his name to the list of winners in the 12 seasons here on the MX-5 World Tour. All right, what we're going to do is take a short break. We'll be back to run down the entire field, do driver interviews, and close up shop. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour, round number 7 from Mid-Ohio. And boy, it was a Ohio barn burner. Let me tell you that, as your winner is the Roland Estonian Errol Nummi. He was able to fend off Sonny Kanchan. Third place goes to the Slovene machine Patrick Sliss. John Deuce Allen in fourth. Rounding out the top 5, a quiet race from Robert Hardley. Sergio Mora, once again, the pit stop becomes his Achilles heel. I can't quote him exactly because they'll take me off the air, but let me say he just does not understand why it took so long for him to get the amount of fuel that he needed to finish the race. He finishes in 6th. Carlos Torres from Colombia in 7th position. 8th goes to Christopher Hand. 9th and 10th. They started battling and they finished right in front of each other, Tom Ratchey and Travis Schwenke. Richard?
Well, Bill, before we go ahead and call the rest of them, actually we'll call the grid, not the grid, the results first. But I figured out what happened to Marlo Larsen. I'll talk about that after. So in 11th place here we have Tuan Tran. Then no. Where am I?
That's 11th Tuan Tran. Then Eric Garcia.
Tuan Tran 11th place. Then Eric Garcia in 12th. Billy Bob Wright in 13th, Jeroen Jonkers in 14th place. Brian Holmes had his problems, finished in 15th. Joseph Arrow in 16th place. Derek Holland finished in 17th. Marlo Larsen finished a disappointing 18th place, but we know now what happened to him. 19th place, Mark King, and 20th place, newcomer Riley Rote.
And then we go to 21st position, and that is Joe McDonald. 22nd is Jeroen Ursum, Al Heaton, and David Oselin in 23rd and 24th. Kieran Mott, welcome back to the series in the quarter century mark. Eric Nanning and Ashley Beard go 26th and 27th. Not the best birthday present for Wilfred Rensenbrink, as he finishes 28th, 23 laps down, and the final driver in 29th, 26 laps off the pace. Only got 2 laps in. That is Eric Coleman. Okay, Rich, why don't you follow up on what you think happened to Larson?
Well, this is what I think happened, that he did pull over deliberately, but this is what he said in the chat. He said that he missed his pit stall and then took too little fuel. Fail is what he's saying. So when he got off track there in that last lap, he didn't have enough fuel to finish anyway. He pulled it over, Bill. I think you were right that he did pull over deliberately, but the reason is he wouldn't have had enough fuel to finish anyway.
Well, I don't think that surprises you or I. I think we called that immediately as he came out of the stop,
did.
but it was way too fast. So we've been doing this a while here. Sometimes we can read between the lines. All right, let's go ahead and do some interviews. I'm going to take the winner today. Let's bring him on in. It is the Roland Estonian. My goodness, he wins in open wheels. He wins when they have fenders on him. Errol Nummi, congratulations on the win. You had to work for it today.
Oh yeah, that was very hard. I'm sweating.
Okay, let's take you on early on. You were running about 3rd or 4th most of the way. The train wasn't doing a lot of battling. It looked like you were just happy to sit back there behind the leaders.
Yeah, I didn't feel very fast, so I just stayed calm and played my tires and fuel.
And then you had some excitement after the pit stop when you came out. Boy, that was exciting at pit entrance or pit exit, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was close.
Okay, then you get the lead, and then it's a battle between you, Kanchan, and Fliss. Great drivers. How did they treat you? Did they treat you nice?
Don't think so. I'm new.
There was some good battling going on there. Take us to the last lap. Were you glad to be in front on that last lap, or were you worried that he was going to find a way around you?
No, actually, I was very comfortable in the front, so had no worries there.
Yeah, it looks like you had his number. Well, Errol, congratulations on the win. We're going to add your name to the list of drivers here in the MX-5 Tour who have picked up a victory. Congratulations, and let's have you come back and see a few more races before the season's over.
Yeah, thank you.
Errol Nummi, the Roland Estonian, and your winner today. Okay, Richard, who would you like to talk to now?
All right, we're going to bring Patrick Fliss into the booth here. We can't see Sonny Kanchan anywhere, but we'll talk to Patrick. Patrick, this is Richard. You got a copy?
Hello.
Patrick, congratulations, man. That was a really, really great race. All race long, you were threatening. You were in third, fourth position around about. After the pit stops, things got really interesting and you were battling there. We thought that you and Aeronom might actually take each other out at one stage there, but of course, you guys are very experienced and a lot better drivers than that. Tell us about that last couple of laps. Did you think you had enough to win that race, and all of a sudden here comes Sonny Kanchan behind you in the second last lap or something? So just tell us about that last few laps.
Yeah, first I want to say this was my first league race with my Oculus Rift, so that was awesome. And yeah, about the laps, I made it 3 wide after the pit stops, and me and Darrow came together ever so slightly. Just we both moved into each other, but the contact somehow gave him aero damage, he said, but yeah, he was mad about it. I don't think that was such a big deal. But then yeah, I tried to make a move again because I really felt held up. So but that was a late move when I came to inside of him, and he turned in pretty early. He didn't really get scared, so yeah, I tapped him, but he did a really nice save. I waited for him, but let Sonny by in the process because I missed the third gear then. So
yeah, just want to ask you a question. Might be a little controversial, but during some of that side-by-side racing, Aeronom going defensive there, he did a lot of defensive driving today, Aero. Did you think that he was coming out of the defense was perhaps a little, cutting across you a little bit, or not doing the right thing, or was it all fair driving in your opinion?
Nah, it was fair driving. Especially the 3 wide situation, it was pretty much a racing incident if you ask me. But yeah, the one when I came up on him, it was more my fault, I'd say, even though he just turned in, but the spotter was activated very late.
Yeah, yep. We just wanted to clear that up for the viewers, just in case some people thought that he was blocking or anything like that. We believe here in the booth that is fair driving. Defending your position is absolutely fair. Well, Patrick, this is a third place for you. You've got a number of second places behind Sonny Kanchan in other races. By time you took a win, don't you think?
Yeah, it's getting pretty frustrating, but yeah.
Hey, listen, congratulations. That's excellent racing, man. Just excellent racing. So we'll give you the last word as usual.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Gravity for always keeping me down to earth.
All right,
well said, Bill. Back to you.
Nicely set up there, Richard the straight man for Patrick Fliss. Let's go ahead and bring in our pole sitter, John Deuce Allen. I think John and Sergio Mora and maybe Robert Hartley need to fire their pit crew. Deuce, what happened?
Pit crew is right, although being as it's a sim, it's really me, so I have myself to blame for winding up with 8 extra laps of fuel at the end.
Oh, man.
So I don't know what I did wrong exactly. This could be just simple arithmetic and adding 1 exact gallon too many. Really felt like with practice and being my home track and having some laps on it in real life that it was mine to lose, and, well, I did.
You found a way, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah, 8 laps, that's going to slow you down. Well, man, it was fun while it lasted. Up front, you were in quite a battle. Let's talk early on when you were in that battle up there with Marlowe. You guys were really going at it.
Yeah, that was a blast. You don't have to race Marlowe very often to be able to trust him in close quarters, so we were enjoying that immensely. And after a while, it was cooking my tires. I was planning all along to only take 2. And so after a couple laps of that, I decided to let him by, and even bump drafted him a little bit when we had a brief chance to maybe break the draft. And then after that, I peeled off at what I thought was the perfect time and just took too much fuel. I had a little bit of damage on the right side that I opted to not take as well because I brushed the wall in turn 11 one time while following him, and that may or may not have affected my top end speed. I really couldn't tell. I was just focused on trying to chase the group down ahead of me.
Feels like deja vu, because I think I asked you this exact same question last time I talked to you. Early on, did you think as you were starting to run away that those guys kept battling, you could have an easy win?
Not here, not this, not this place. There's too many people sitting right within the same, 10th or two and qualifying and practice, and the draft reaches pretty far. I never was more than a second ahead of Marlo or Sergio. I was trying to give, the guy trying to pass the draft a couple times, hoping they would take too wide and slow him down even more, but that was just a little strategy that I gave up on after a lap or two.
Well, thanks for putting in the good effort. And top 5 today, actually 4th position. So, way to go. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Deuce Allen, your 4th place finisher today. All right. Well, that was one exciting race, and I'm glad to see that a lot of new blood in here. And, man, that was something that we can maybe put into the archives there to watch again. We'd like to thank everybody here at the Quality Sim Racing Syndicate for organizing this series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Thanks to the Tidal Influence and an ecological consulting firm based in Long Beach, California, that restores wetlands, saves and studies endangered species, and educates children about the environment. For more information, go to TidalInfluence.com. And just 90-minute drive and 7,000 feet up from the wetlands is the best kept secret in Southern California's San Bernardino Mountains, and that is Green Valley Lake. And while visiting, stop in to Eagle Nest Cabin for a hot meal and a cold drink. Thanks to Six Sideways, a full-service motorsports company based in Sebring, Florida, which currently competes in the SCCA Pro Racing Battery Tender Mazda MX-5 Cup Championship. Six Sideways offers race car builds and repairs, rentals, transportations, maintenance, trackside support, setup service, driver coaching, marketing, media service, race car storage, and more. Contact them with your motorsports needs at sixsideways.com. Thanks to the companies and equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. The original music you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Eckelman and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them. The Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour returns in 2 weeks, December 3rd, for round 8 from Suzuka, and GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you tune in. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, such as upcoming and archived broadcasts, or to schedule a GSRC to broadcast an event of your own, your best bet is GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. And finally, on behalf of my mic mate Richard Losper, our director Joe Peak, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. Don't forget to tune in to the DGFX is WeatherTech series that we're covering 6 hours. That's on right now. And Joe and I are going to be going over that to cover the last 3 hours of that. And with that said, it's time for us to go have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.